Coach Saban also made sure to emphasize that while getting drafted high is valuable, what's even more important is focusing on what needs to be done to guarantee a successful career. Now jump ahead 24 years and now just a few miles down the road at St. Vincent's Hospital, the American Sports Medicine Institute is doing just that. Another Alabama Pro Day is in the books. All 32 teams were represented, as well as GMs from the Jets and the Giants team. And for players like Austin Shepard, who was unsatisfied with his combine results, today was a much anticipated do-over. Saban was quick to bring everyone back down to earth. It's every high school football player's dream to compete in a state championship, and today is the third consecutive season that Aniana is going to be here. It's Black Friday, but no one's in the malls tonight. We had a chance to visit with a father and daughter in Hamilton who've teamed together to overcome adversity with blind ambition. Hey guys, I'm at Leeds High School and I'm with some future Leeds football players over here, and we're going to show these guys we know how to play too. Let's do this, guys. Now 2 weeks ago, he actually tied the record when he got his 309th win against Homewood High School. Again tonight, trying to break that on the road against Hewitt-Trussville. 19-7, they're moving to state. Rick, JJ, back to you guys. One win away from making it to the Super Six. What's the key to a win tonight?
You know, a lot of struggles with Jameis Winston going on right now.
Yeah,
what advice would you give him?
I'm just so disappointed.
I know a lot of people have watched your dad in the public eye. They've seen his character, the players he's produced, and the impact he's had on people. What don't they know about your father?
That he really is the person in public that he is at home.
And the ESPY's red carpet, I'm Britton Lynn. You also had another incredible experience going to Pasadena, winning a national championship.
What would you do if you're a college student and you get to cover the ESPYs?
Oh, that would be hot. I mean,
National championship will give them an edge.
The 5th women's golfer in history. Only 11 horses have ever won the Triple Crown. The last time it happened, nearly 40 years ago. And now the American Pharoah can finally join that elite class. After coming in first at the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belknap Stakes, the legendary trainer was in a position to win on 3 previous years, but came up short. He can now finally say, 4 times a charm. That's a wrap for today, but check in with us again tonight at 9:30 for Sports with Rick Carley. Now the guys under the center getting all the attention as NFL OTAs continue, and the Broncos, just a year after Super Bowl expectations, fell short again. The future Hall of Famer, just shy of 40 years, has been a topic of conversation in the offseason. After arm and neck issues, Manning also working under a new head coach, Gary Kubiak. Fans wondering if the two will mesh, but Manning confident as always, saying, quote, "I'm committed and all in for whatever Kubiak has to offer." And how about them Cowboys? Wrapping up OTAs today, Tony Romo back at practice. Now Dez still waiting on that big money, but lots of questions surrounding who will take over DeMarco Murray's spot. The 2014 NFL Offensive Player of the Year now gone with the Eagles. Romo, though, not concerned.
We don't think about last year. I think now it's a whole new team. We got to build and we got to figure out what this group's going to be good at and who's going to play and you know, who's gotten better and where they're going to fit in.
In the past, life without DeMarco hasn't been great for Tony. Romo's production clearly fell, winning 61% of games with DeMarco and 45 without him. That's it for now, but more sports coming your way tonight at 9:30. Hey, golf's U.S. Open just around the corner starts this Thursday, but Bubba Watson already out there reading the greens at Chambers Bay, making light of the former sand and gravel quarry turned golf course. Check out this video. He Instagrammed an incredible shot on Friday. The 36-year-old went the long way around with his back to the hole, directing his putt away from the target up a hill. Somehow the ball made its way back into the cup. Pretty insane shot. Been getting lots of attention on social media. No doubt lots of guys at the Alabama State Amateur would love to be in Bubba's shoes. The tournament celebrated its 99th year this weekend, and just like 98, same guy wins it. UAB golfer Will Cannon from Hoover at the final hole with a comfortable 3-shot lead. And what does he do? Attacks the flag. Lands about 18 feet from the cup. Pretty modest gallery on hand to watch the leaders finish up the 18th green, and just like a pro, Cannon walks up, drains the birdie, finishes at 67. That's 4 shots under the 4 final round. 12 under par finish gives Cannon a 4-shot win for the 2nd consecutive year. And the last time a golfer won back-to-back titles at the Stadium, 5 years ago. But what hasn't been accomplished? A three-peat. Cannon plans to do just that at the next tournament. From one champion to another, newly crowned Deontay Wilder trying to retain his title this weekend. The Tuscaloosa native gave the state of Alabama a night to remember. And for the first time ever, championship boxing came to the Magic City last night. A sold-out Bartow Arena, Wilder, aka the Bronze Bomber, putting a whooping on Eric Molina, knocked the challenger down 1 in the 4th, twice in the 5th, and again in the 9th.
All right, are the helmets high school football players are using in our state as safe as they're designed to be?
As teams get ready for spring training, we're taking a closer look at the helmets that children are wearing. Britton Lynn has this On Your Side investigation.
Increased scrutiny about the safety of helmets and the long-term effects of concussions have parents concerned. Who's responsible for keeping your child safe? Here's what you need to know.
How's it come to order?
There are currently no laws in the state of Alabama requiring helmets to be reconditioned and recertified. Therefore, the decision is left to the school's coach or principal. Oftentimes, a limited budget keeps the schools from spending as much as they should on helmets.
Some helmets have missing cushion. So, you know, and some coaches, I hate to say, they'll take that chance of trying to play a player without the right equipment, or they would take this out and put it into a new helmet, which this cushion doesn't belong in another type of helmet. It becomes a liability not only for that coach, it becomes a liability for that school and also that school system.
Alabama High School Athletic Association oversees the rules regarding middle school and high school football equipment. AHSAA recommends helmets be reconditioned and recertified every other year, but it's not required. We sat down with Greg Brewer, the director of officials, to help clarify.
What are the requirements for those coaches and schools in terms of middle school helmet protection?
We don't have any.
Okay,
I'm
so just
sorry.
high school?
Not even high school.
What are the rules in terms of helmets? So there's 0 rules? Because
Well,
I thought
the
rule
Federation
was...
requires, I mean, you have to wear a helmet. Yes, okay, the Federation, yes, there is a rule that says you have to wear a helmet. And the helmet has to have the 4-prong chin strap. And that's the only thing that you'll see in any rule book requiring any requirement about helmets.
I'm not sure if I heard you correctly, so just clarify. But reconditioning is not required by middle schools for helmets every year or every 2 years?
Well, it's not required by us or the National Federation, but it's kind of understood that that's what's going to happen. They do it every year, whether it's required or not, because that's common sense, you know.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. We found at least one school that said they wait as long as 3 years before helmets are reconditioned and recertified, which means those helmets are more likely to have cracks, missing parts, or be past their 10-year mark. We also found multiple schools where records were lost because of a changeover of coaches, something we also asked AHSAA about.
It's up to the person who's in charge of the school, which is the principal, to make sure that he or she hires competent people.
In late January, we sent a records request to every public school in the state, asking for their helmet records. Because helmets are purchased and recertified with tax dollars, there should be a record of those purchases. But since January, only 6 schools have shared their records. They are Pike County, Goshen, Enterprise, Albertville, Athens, Alex City, Wicksburg, Leeds, and Homewood. And we'll continue to petition the schools for this information and add it to our database on myfoxal.com and the WBRC app as it comes in. In the meantime, we encourage you to ask questions. Find out when your child's helmet was last reconditioned and recertified.
Welcome to Hartmont Park Stadium.
There's something just in the nature of the game that you don't get in anything else. It's going to grab hold of you because it's just got it. There's so much raw emotion, raw passion, and it's so much of what we're missing in society.
Humble, joyful, quiet. Words not often associated with football. But Kai Christianberry isn't your typical athlete.
Good, Kai! Yeah, that a kid!
Only Kai can lift up his teammates without saying a word.
Eagle pride. I'm deaf.
The fact that Kai even chose to play,
Why?
despite the difficulty of communicating with his teammates, is one miracle.
You know, I'll look at the safety or the interpreter on the sideline.
But even more amazing is that Kai is here.
We got a phone call about Kai saying he was this amazing 13-year-old boy that was going to have nowhere to live very soon, and would we consider bringing him home?
153 million orphans estimated worldwide. It was only 3 years ago when Kai was living that statistic.
In China, families reject their deaf kids. If they have a deaf child, they don't want them. They don't like deaf people. They take them to the orphanage. They just get rid of them.
Less than a year away from his 14th birthday, time was running out.
They generally age out of the system, and so that means they no longer have a place to live.
He would just basically be out on the streets at 14, 15 years of age to fend for himself, to beg, if he was lucky, get some sort of factory job.
That's when the Christianberry family opened their home.
Sometimes you just know something is right.
And then the football team is also like a family, like brothers and sisters.
When we just take a look at the guy sitting beside us and thinking, man, you know, this guy was in an orphanage in China and he's fixing to get kicked out, and it's, you know, that argument I have with my parents doesn't seem like such a big deal anymore, or doing poorly in that test, or Susie breaking up with me, all that stuff. I mean, it's not, it really tends to minimize our troubles.
From never having seen the game of football.
That's part of the whole new world thing. It's like being at Disney World every day.
To changing his teammates' perspective.
There's somebody that our kids see on a daily basis and they say, well, good gracious, you know, look at everything that this kid's had to come through to get to the point that he's at, and then look at the hurdles that he still has to jump just to compete with us, and he doesn't let it faze him.
After only a few months of playing,
yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Kai did more than his team could have ever imagined.
Sorry, one of the neatest things that happened was during we've got a preseason inter-squad scrimmage that we do over at the stadium, and he recovered a fumble.
And I saw the football, and I went after it, and I got it, and I was really happy.
When he got up, he was so excited that he screamed and made sound, and that was a cool deal.
He spoke.
You know, he does something that's impossible. Well, that makes our challenges look pretty, you know, minute, and our hurdles are down here.
I'm very proud.
Now Kai's teaching his teammates what many of them had forgotten.
We tell our kids, just enjoy what you're doing. Don't hold anything back. Just go do it, and he does it.
One smile at a time.
And he doesn't take anything for granted. You know, it's something I will always treasure. I will treasure the time I get to coach him, because it is it's not everybody gets this opportunity.
Now you're wearing number 32, but you said number 1 is your favorite. Why?
Because one deaf person on the team.
Eagle, you got me! Yes, sir!
Britton Lynn, Fox 6 News.
1, 2, 3, let's go!